Adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio. And I just got back from punk rock bowling, and this band was badass at punk rock bowling, and we missed each other throughout the weekend because there's way too many shenanigans in Vegas and at punk rock bowling. So it's even better because we get to do this interview now, because I can tell you this will be the best quality interview of all of the punk rock bowling interviews. Because
hooray! All right.
See, yeah, and we got video and everything, and your name alone drew me to your set. And I'm like, well, I got to check out this band that they have the chutzpah to call themselves the Hot Patooties.
Yeah.
I want to know how many of the younger generation in the audience knew what that actually meant.
That's a good question.
Well, I think actually the movie's has come back. You know, it's like, I mean, it kind of never left, but like the cult, in case for people who don't know, it comes from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, from a song that Meatloaf sang called Hot Patootie, Bless My Soul, Hot Patooties, Bless My Soul. And so we're the Hot Patooties, and it's from Rocky Horror Picture Show, but it never went away. Like, people are still watching it. So,
it is kind of coming back. I remember I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show like every weekend at the midnight show at the Oaks Mall in Thousand Oaks, California.
Whoa, okay. I went to college there in Thousand
Oaks.
Oaks.
At Moore Park?
At Cal Lutheran.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
well, there you go.
Continue, please. So, yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about.
Kim also saw the movie, but she participated.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you had to participate.
No,
yeah. Well, we had a stage, and where I went in Newport Beach, they had a stage in front of the screen. So a bunch of us acted out the characters and did things to the screen, in front of the screen. I was usually magenta, but, sometimes Columbia, depending on what they need for the night. But yeah, we dressed up.
They did that at ours too. I don't know if there was a stage. I don't remember, but I remember just people would get up in front of the screen and just act the whole thing out.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was always all my punk friends that were doing it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Kim.
The guy who played Frankie, and I didn't know this because when I first met him, he was wearing the wig, had a full mohawk. So he'd take off the wig and he had this hawk, and we just like, yes, and like we were all in love.
Nice.
Awesome.
I think it's back in those times for me. It was one of the only places that you could be safe having long hairs and punks around, because I was a long hair and I couldn't go to punk shows because I'd get my ass beat.
No. I was totally like underage and not allowed to do anything. And so I don't think my mom knew what was really going on.
Oh, man. Listen, my cousin went to T.O. High with Belinda Carlisle.
No way.
And most of the people, I remember being in high school when the Go-Go's got really big, and they had the one concert that every girl in the whole school went to and came the next day with the Go-Go shirt on. Yes. And I'd like to interview all of those people that went to those shows back then and ask them if they knew that they were really hardcore punkers to begin with.
Oh, yeah. And one of my favorite bands of all time, too.
Oh, I love them, too.
Yeah.
I especially love... What? Go ahead.
I think I saw them when I was 16.
Really?
But I didn't know until many years later when I got that the video of the Go-Go's messing around with a banana and the roadie and doing backstage. And I remember being like, oh my God. Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, yeah. So like, and Belinda and Jane, they always used to say like, we got into music just because we wanted to get high and get laid.
Yep.
Hey, there's a reason why we say sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Okay, it's really in this thing.
No doubt. And one thing I also love about the Go-Go's is like in the punk scene before they became popular, they were like one of the only ones doing it in what was male dominated, which I think kind of stupid that it's male dominated because women have way more passion and emotion. So like when I see bands like at Punk Rock Bowling, the women are way more badass than the dudes. Just saying.
Well, if I remember correctly, Belinda's nickname was Dottie Danger. Wasn't that her?
I think so. Yeah.
When she played drums, and her nickname was her punk name was Dottie Danger. Yeah. So there you go. You got your danger.
I know. There you go. And I did pretty much on the 80s live on the Sunset Strip or in Santa Monica or the country club in Reseda. And so I saw and lived all those shenanigans. But you know what they say.
Cool.
If you were there on the Sunset Strip during the 80s and you remember it, you weren't really there.
And you're still alive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
I was telling this story all weekend too about I wanted to get my spikes from Posers on Melrose because that was the place to go. But I was a long hair. I wasn't allowed to go there. So I grabbed a few of my punk friends who were friends with the owner. So I figured we're good. They figured we're good. We go in there, not even in there 30 seconds. And the owners go up to my friends and say something. My friend comes over to me. He goes, "We need to leave." And I'm like, "What?"
No.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
they're still open.
They are still open. I could probably go there now.
They had a change. I think they had some ownership changes, and that's probably where the issues might have come up for you.
Well, it was back in the day where we just weren't on the same page, punks and metalheads, and it was so freaking stupid.
Oh, so it's a metal thing.
So if you were a long hair, like I was.
Crossover.
Yeah, before crossover. I went to the first ever crossover show, by the way, in LA. I went to the first ever crossover show in LA. It had no security. It was at the Sun Valley Sportsman's Lodge. It was like an Elks Lodge, and it was mayhem. It was COC pre-Pepper. It was Suicidal when they were still Suey Boys, not when they were crossing over. And it was the Descendants. And then on the metal side, it was Possessed, Dark Angel, and Savage Grace. No security. The place was absolute mayhem.
Yeah, sure. Have the place.
Yeah, like it was like, do whatever you're going to do, people. You know, and it's funny because I did interview on 2 separate interviews, Mike from COC and Woody from COC, and I did the same thing to him. Like, you probably don't remember this show, but this is iconic to me. And they're like, they both said it. They're like, it was like an Elks Lodge, right? Yep. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. It was iconic.
Wow.
There was no safe place to hide. If you wanted to go to a show where you could watch the pit, that wasn't it.
Yes.
You were in it.
You're in the pit, whether you want to be in it or not. Just watch out for the people flying from the rafters, kicking you in the head.
Right.
Yeah.
But but it is cool that nowadays, like even like Power Trip playing at Punk Rock Bowling blew my mind, and how the crowd reacted to it because they are definitely metal.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. They had one of the best receptions to their set of anyone. Yeah.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I think they had a better reception than Social D did. You know, it's like
I think so.
So it's kind of cool because I always thought it was stupid. Like I went to Agora High, and there were like 3 of us metalheads and 3 of us punks, and we were all getting the shit beat out of us by the jocks. But yet we're beating the shit out of each other. What idiots.
No.
So I have
you're young.
I had a lot of those thoughts this weekend about because I am older. And grandma here, I'm like, you know, back in the 80s, people were fighting. Back
in our day.
The skinheads and I was thinking how people are so into more diverse music now, and the kids today are just more diverse in general.
Yeah, totally.
Race-wise too. I mean, shit.
Everything. I think everything. Like even back in the day, girls shouldn't go in the pit. You know what? the ones I'm afraid of when I go in the pit are the girls, not the dudes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not,
She does that. I have to keep her in the guardrails.
it's not just, and in the words of Kevin Seconds, it's not just boys fun, Mr. Pipeman.
That's right. That's
So I
right.
don't give a shit about that. But
Well, and I think too, there was a certain time because when I was first going to shows, I was kind of sneaking out at like 13 and 14, and I would end up kind of in the pit, but it was to bands that were really friendly for that. Like
Yeah.
my kind of gateway. I mean, I was listening to Black Flag, but I was going to see like the Toy Dolls and
yeah, or Ramones. Like Ramones was fun.
and the Addicts and stuff. And so I would go into the pit and there would be just these massive burly dudes. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't realize how hurt I could have gotten. And I would, you know, get knocked down. And there would be like 4 guys lifting me back up.
Yeah.
Right then, no messing around. And I don't know if it was a West Coast thing, because then years later I went to the East Coast and there was no way. They were doing the windmill thing.
No,
and
the
like,
East Coast hardcore
East
was
Coast,
hardcore.
that's a whole
It's
different
a lot of
monster.
big arms.
Yeah, like I'm originally from New York and New Jersey. I went back after to go to college, and yeah, the New York scene was way more hardcore than the
there was
LA
no
scene.
way I was gonna get in that pit.
Right.
Well, it's more like, yeah, the surfers and skaters was like the LA thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the East, yeah, I always think of East Coast hardcore as just super, as like I keep joking about it, big arms,
Right.
big neck.
Totally.
Yeah, it's
You know,
brutal.
and I mean, and look at the Misfits too. They're muscle heads from Lodi, New Jersey.
Yeah.
You know.
It's kind of the
Well,
part,
there's
right?
something for everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally.
That's why I think today is, because you can go to these festivals and enjoy all these things. And you know what's even better about today? Did you
What?
see that freaking video of the Nazi getting?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
I
Get out,
fucking
dude.
love
You're
that.
done. You're done.
That was
You're
going
here.
on. That was going on right behind me. I didn't even know it. I was standing in front of the sound booth, watching Flag, and just like, you know, screaming along, losing my mind. And I later on, like right when we got back, I saw the videos. Like once one person posted, it was all over. And I can't believe this guy went in with a bright orange shirt with the SS on the back by himself. Like,
Well, that's what's weird, because like I'm a Jew.
Bonkers.
Normally those Nazi fucks
Order.
are never by themselves because they're
Yeah.
too much of a pussy by
Exactly.
themselves.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And I wish I was there for it. I saw the video after. I was like, man, I wish I was there for that, because I would have liked to knock him on his ass too. Like, it was so freaking funny when he went on his ass, man.
Well,
I'm
and
like,
you can tell, I mean, he could have really gotten the, you know, stuffing beaten out of him. But
Right.
they were
people,
nice with him.
I think people were really conflicted. And I understand in that moment where it's like, you see, you know, he went down and then people were kind of like over him, but like, almost like, what do I do now? Like
Over
the
him,
punk
like,
rocker, you know, one part of you wants to help him back up. The other part of you wants to, you know, make it worse, you know? So,
But if you're brazen enough to wear that stuff by yourself, going to a festival in 2025 where it would not be like, you know, bands like the Dead Kennedys and stuff that were saying it, but not all. It was more appropriate back then for you to be a neo-Nazi skinhead.
yeah.
But today, you can't show up to a punk show like that
No.
and not expect what he got.
Well, let me clarify
he's
something, because
involved.
I don't want this to sound wrong. When I said one party wants to pick him up, that's only as from the punk
A
rock,
human
like
being.
seeing a human being fall.
Yeah.
That's
Human
all.
being,
Like,
yeah.
like
Totally.
before it clicks in who it is. Okay, sorry. I
Exactly.
just didn't want to sound like I'm like, oh no, let's get him back up again.
But
you
that's
know?
right. When I was saying that about the 80s, like, I mean, I saw people who would, I've seen people get beat up, fall on the floor, skinheads kicking them all in the fucking head. I mean, it was gnarly.
Oh,
Gnarly
yeah.
shit.
The
And it's
Suey
like,
boys.
that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, the Suey boys
maybe
used to
somewhere.
go do the circle pit with switchblades. Like, literally, I've been in a pit with the Suey boys, and they had switchblades. I'm like, I'm out. That's
I'm
stupid.
not at those shows anymore. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's scary.
that's not what it was ever about. I always talk about that all the time. The pit isn't about hurting and maiming people. It's about getting your shit out so you don't hurt and maim people.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
I was talking with a guy going up the elevator about, how sore we are. And I asked him, I said, do you still mix it up in the pit? He goes, no. And I said, me neither. It's too hard to get up and it hurts more.
Okay, so I actually lost my shoe in the interrupter pit.
Right.
Did you find it?
Wait, it gets better, okay? Again, going back to women being badasses. So then I fought my way out of the pit because I was deep in it and fought my way out because I didn't want somebody
with one
stomping on my foot, you know? And I'm looking, and then I see this one dude pick up a shoe. So I go to look at it. I'm like, no, that's yours. And this girl turns to me. She goes, I saw your shoe. And she goes and runs into the pit to go try to find it.
No way.
Yeah.
Did you find
it? That's so bad. She did. After a while, I'm there. So I walked by her and we couldn't find it. And then she found it. I'm like, thank you. You're a badass. And I thought I got out of it unscathed till the next morning when I went and took a shower and looked down at my foot. I'm like, oh, I guess I did get stomped on.
Oh, no.
But it would have been awesome if you had to wear someone else's shoe and they're wearing your shoe.
I know, right?
You're going around. I saw something on the floor at the Cox Bar show, and I'm like, what is that? And I kicked it out of the way. And I remembered when I was younger, after every show, I would wait and I would walk around and just look at the floor, and I'd pick up all kinds of shit, buttons, earrings, whatever.
Sometimes shit disappears.
What?
Sometimes shit disappears. Okay, so these sunglasses, this is the third time I've had to buy these. Okay, they're good ones, and I never usually buy good ones because I lose them or whatever. And so I was at Grass Pop last year, and some girl just grabbed me to go to the Machine Head pit, and so I wasn't thinking, and I had my sunglasses on, and I forgot about it. Usually, it would be like, here, hold this, and all of a sudden they disappeared. And I literally was through that whole pit and couldn't find. They just disappeared. They weren't even stepped on. I don't know where they went.
They went into the
someone else is wearing them now.
I know, right?
Rad glasses.
Yeah, exactly. And then like a couple weeks after that, I was doing Rocklahoma, and I had them like on my shirt, and some girl. We were backstage, all the production people and everything, and everybody's drunk off their ass, and some girls like going to all the guys and lifting their shirt. Hey, take your shirt off. And she did it to me, and they snapped in half. So this time I handed my sunglasses to somebody. So I have to buy them a fourth time.
Good idea. You live, you learn.
Exactly. I need them for the show. Like when you're over 50, you need sunglasses to do a show. It's kind of like, I'm like, I should start a band now and just wear a mask, and nobody would even know how old I was. And you can pull it off because it is a thing nowadays. I actually got the idea. I don't know if you ever heard of the band called Raven Black, but she's pretty cool. She started her band when she was 50, and she wears makeup, and so you can't even tell what age she is. Wow. And it's like she's up there killing it, and nobody even knows who or what she is.
Wow.
Good.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's where I got the idea. I'm like, ooh, we're sitting on the tour bus. So I'm like, we should do that. I
really hope when I'm, over 50, I can do that too.
See, there you go. That's in 20 years. That's in 20, 30 years, right?
Well, it's never.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, no, I don't care. I don't care. I'm pushing 60, and you know what? I'm still having fun.
Me too. I'm 58.
I'm 58 as well.
And I can still out mosh my grandkids, my kids. I can out skateboard them. I can out surf them.
I can't do that.
I tell everyone. I say we make 55 look rad.
No doubt. Listen, I can teach a few people a few things in that pit. Those youngins. I had a lot of practice in the harder days, in the days where it was much harder to survive the pit.
That's right. You survived the pit. That was your mantle to carry.
There you go. So, how was your experience at Punk Rock Bowling as an artist?
Busy. Very busy.
It was, and well, to be very honest, I got rid of the tickets I had for the Friday night show because I thought, I know myself and I'll be out way too fucking late. I'll get ripped and then I won't be able to get up early and be at the pool party at, we had to be there for our little, not really sound check, line check. And I think
our report time was 10 o'clock.
We were pretty, so being an older artist, I wanted to make sure I was in bed by midnight.
Yeah, we laid up a couple times. Kim, boy, kudos to you, Kim, for soldiering all of it.
Oh, almost. I didn't get to see everyone I wanted to see, but I tried. I really tried.
I pretty much did. I'm going to get my sleep after this interview, actually.
Oh, we're tired. Well, I only go to the night shows, and even a couple of those I missed from being tired. But Kim went to the festival, and Kim, you should tell him Kim's been to Punk Rock Bowling since #1.
Really?
Yeah, I go.
Now you're dating yourself, okay?
Well, I'm close to the Stern brothers. I love their family. They're wonderful people. And we go back to, I used to work at Epitaph Records.
Oh, wow.
I worked there in the heyday and all of that. And the Stern brothers, of course, are BYO Records and Youth Brigade. And Mark and Sean started this small bowling tournament that was just for a handful of independent labels, bands, clothing companies, whatever it is. You had to be independent in order to participate. So we got sponsored, and we had, I think we started off with 2 teams or something, and it grew, of course. But I was on the B team because we have guys at Epitaph that really can bowl, and they still do. I think Mike got one of the day's top scores this year.
Wow.
Was like he's gotten.
Cheated.
No, yeah, he's amazing. He's a real bowler. So it started off with, it always ended up being like Epitaph against BYO. There would always be this big ending. And the only show that there would be on Sunday night for the trophy ceremony to give away the prizes and stuff for who won. And that was it. It was like mostly the bowling tournament. And then the one show on probably Sunday night, even at the time. It's all a little blurry because it was 25 years ago.
Right.
But that's how it started. It was not a festival. There weren't even club shows every night. None of that. Now it's like there's a waiting list to bowl, a 3-day festival. Every night there's club shows, and even there's club shows even when there aren't festival shows.
Right.
So it's really grown, and they've done an amazing job to doing it. It's totally organic. It was something that just started off as a bunch of us who loved hanging out anyway, just to go have fun and goof around and bowl. That was it. So it came from a really great source, all independent, and no corporate labels were allowed to participate or be a part of it. And they've kept to they've really kept to the DIY ethic and all of that. So big props to the Sterns for doing that, and everyone who works with them. They have really great people working with them now.
I love, and my kids could tell you, I do so many festivals that, my youngest daughter, she'll always be like, so you excited to go to this festival? I'm like, well, when you do it every week, I don't know if excited's the word. I love doing it, but then I'm always excited for Punk Rock Bowling because it's so different. I do all the Danny Wimmer festivals. I do Hellfest, Download, Bloodstock. I did all the Punk and Drublick ones, Punk in the Park. But this one,
I like it because we get we grew up in the scenes, and I didn't really grow up in the scene, but I have friends that did, and seeing them and talking about back on those days, we did this, remember that, catching up with good friends with some maybe not so good times, but we all struggled through it. So that's what I get out of it.
Yeah, to me, I get out of it the community aspect of it.
Exactly.
Because even though it's gotten big, it's still this community thing. I remember the first year I did it was when the Specials headline. Okay. And like I met so many new people that night that I'm like still good friends with today. In fact, I don't know if you know who Susie Moon is, but she performed with and this other band performed. Drew Champion was in that band, and I interviewed both bands, and I introduced the two of them.
Now they have 2 babies. Look at you.
I know that, like we were messaging at Punk Rock Boy. I'm like, it doesn't feel right without you guys here. Like, and they always will say, like, it's because of you, Pipe Man, that we're together. It's all your fault. And like, it's just an epic thing. And then something also shocked me that night too. Like the Specials never play Ghost Town live, and they did that night. So that I have to give credit to the people running Punk Rock Bowling, because somebody had to buzz in their ear, hey, you should probably play Ghost Town. You know?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I was just talking to someone about that at the festival where there's been performers that I've seen in other situations, and I feel like they really bring it for Punk Rock Bowling extra. I feel like it's a little extra. Like the example I was thinking of was when Iggy Pop played, and I had seen him several times through that summer, and I loved every show. I love every show he does. I've never seen him do a bad show. For Punk Rock Bowling, though, I really feel like he pulled out all of the stops. He knew his audience. He knew what what would make the energy just like explode, and he did it. And all of us were I was in the pit losing my mind the whole time because he was so great. And I feel like there's several artists who have done that. I feel like they bring their A game to Punk Rock Bowling.
I saw that with Coxbar at the club show.
Coxbar
Monday night, and
they were great.
Epic. Oh my God. It was, I mean, you could tell they were really having a good time. And the audience, every single song, we were all singing along, howling along. That's the A game for sure.
Yeah.
Now that Pipeman, now that you know that, well, now that we know you're a festival hoe, yeah, I'll bet you anything you're going to bump into Kim, because last week, and this is only in 1 month, right, Kim, or 2 months?
Pretty much.
You went to Cruel World, and what was the other one? Oh, Coachella.
Well, it started with Coachella. I went to Coachella because I go way back with Coachella. I love it. It's my thing. Before, I mean, I love the music and the environment or whatever. So I went to Coachella, and then I went to Cruel World, and then I went to Punk Rock Bowling. So I have my foot is still blistered up and bandaged up because of all of those.
Okay, so here's my schedule.
She's hardcore, man.
Here's my schedule. Okay.
Oh, well.
Well, I'm sure you did more.
Last week I was at Welcome to Rockville, and the week before that, Sonic Temple. And both of those festivals are 4-day festivals with a pre-party. So they're 5-day festivals, basically.
Ooh,
now. Okay. And then, so now I have like a week and a half off, and then I'm going to UK for Download, and then Hellfest the next weekend, and then maybe Resurrection Fest the next weekend. I've wanted to do, but I've been told doing media there absolutely sucks. But I've wanted to do Rebellion.
Yeah, that's the one I want to go to.
I wanted to do it, but everybody I talk to and all the media people are like, yeah, you don't want to do media at Rebellion.
Wow.
But is there one that you haven't done yet?
Rebellion I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
I haven't done Vakken yet.
Have you been to the Gathering?
That one I haven't been to.
I would love to go.
Oh my God!
Only I don't think I would. I can't even.
I want to go too.
That's the juggalette.
I can't survive Punk Rock Bowling for 4 days, and I think I can go to the Gathering. I'd be like,
"Are you kidding me?"
My problem is I blow my wad the first night, and then I'm just fucking.
It's that fourth day too. Like what I found is like all the 3-day festivals I used to do are now 4-day. I'm like, fuck me with this extra day, And then you add the pre-party on. It's like you might as well just be gone all week because you are.
Party.
And then like next month I'll be doing Warped Tour in Long Beach, and I'll be doing Incarceration. Do you know that festival?
No.
Oh, it's cool as shit. It's more of a rock metal festival, but they'll have, it's a Danny Wimmer festival, so they mix it up. But it's at the Shawshank prison.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
Interesting.
What about Wasteland? Is it that one? Is that what it's called? Wasteland?
I haven't done that
like
one.
Mad Max.
That's the Mad Max one out here.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have to check that out, man.
It's like Mad Max cars, and you can't go in unless you have like a costume and.
Yeah, you have to dress the part. It's like
yeah,
it's like the Renaissance Fair, only Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Which I love that because I love Mad Max, and I go to the Renaissance Festival every year since 1980. So,
wow. Do you wear tights?
No, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine recently. I love the women that dress up, and if you're coming with me, I don't know. I like seeing everybody dressed up. I don't like doing it. So I'm like. You dress up and I'll just compliment you.
But I would be a pirate. I'm working on my pirate outfit.
I do have a pair of.
Good. I'm ready. I'm good.
I do have a pair of sunglasses I'll wear that are the. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. What the fuck? One of the theme days.
Like steampunk
days.
Yeah.
Oh,
steampunk glasses.
Oh,
steampunk glasses. So I'll wear those, and I'll do a little bit. Like I am also, I am somebody that I'll do stuff like I change up my hair all the time. So my hair now, my hair used to be blue. That was my trademark. And then I just needed a break from the work that it takes to have colored hair that I've had for like 10 years. So I went to like blonde and black, and then I was at Rockville, and the person that was actually I met her there. So she was my partner in crime at Punk Rock Bowling. She does the hair of people backstage at festivals like the Artists and stuff. And so I was taught, somebody introduced me to her, and I've been known to do shit on my radio show live like that, And so I was talking to her, I showed her all my different hairstyles. I'm like, man, and somebody said you should interview her. I'm like, yeah, I'll interview you while you do my hair right live in the interview. And so we did.
Good job.
So we did. I just said to her, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Do whatever you're going to do to my hair. I don't care. Because like when it was long, I cared. But when it's short, you can always change it, grow it back, shave it off, whatever. So I'm like, what if I don't like it? I don't care. But it's like, just you're the artist. You do whatever you want. And I didn't even look the whole time. I wasn't looking. I didn't know what the hell she was doing. But she mixed up. It faded nicely after the punk rock swim, because before that I didn't put any water on it. So it was mostly purple, But she put purple, blue, and pink. So then I did the swim, and now it's faded to like
away in the pool.
Yeah.
Away.
Yeah. So it's like all three colors now. It still looks pretty badass. So, but yeah, that's the fun shit, doing shit like that and not caring. Like, it's funny. I'll go to business meetings, like where my studio is. I'm a trustee in the chamber, and it's so funny. I'll walk in with blue hair and all the suits, that, I'm also a professional. So like I can relate to them, but they're like, man, I wish I had the courage to do what you do, but you're in radio. You can do that, and it's like, it's so funny to be 58 years old and have colored hair and people think you look cool, opposed to being 16 and having colored hair and you're a derelict.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I have a really good story about this. Can I tell my story about my dad?
Yeah.
So my dad's at work and he hears this coworker talking about, she's really bummed. Her son dyed his hair blue, whatever. And he went over to her later and he said, my daughter's into all that punk rock stuff too, and blah, blah, blah. And then he made her feel a lot better. And then he said, but I didn't tell her you were in your 40s. So for her, the phase did not go away.
Right.
Which I thought was totally hilarious. So he's making her feel better. And then he goes back to his desk and he always was like, you're going to outgrow this. You're going to outgrow this. And I called him.
Nope.
He called while we were at Punk Rock Bowling. And I called him. I go, Dad, I was just my dad loves gambling. I go, we were just in a casino filled with punk rockers, filled with, and he's all, he just doesn't know what to say.
Well,
but we only have about 10 more minutes because we have a lasagna in the oven. So I just
did you make a lasagna for me?
No, we have to soak up all our hangover right now.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But
so
I wanted to ask you, I saw we have mutual friends on Facebook, and do you know Stuttering Danny from Reality Check?
Probably. I'm trying to think.
San Francisco, Bay Area.
I think so, probably.
No, you kind of remind me of him a little bit. So.
Oh, really? I hope that's a compliment.
Yeah.
On the way home, we were chatting about how we're going to set this up and when we can do it. And I went on the record and I said, you know what, Beth, I'll bet you're going to have at least 2 degrees of separation from anywhere from the Pipeman. And it's true. We'll go anywhere in the world and Beth will know somebody within 2 degrees of separation.
I love that. That's so great. There's a lot of times too, I'll be at festivals too, and somebody will walk up to me, usually an artist, and they'll be like, "Hey, what's up, Pipeman?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck was that?" Because it swirls in your head sometimes. It's like all these, I'll do like 30 to 50 interviews per festival. So it's like, who the fuck said what? I don't know.
I don't know how they keep it up. I mean, yes, women have amazing memories.
Wait, what's the name of our band? Do you know the name of our band? I gotta hide it.
What do you mean, do I know the name of your band? Hot Patooties.
Who are we?
Who are you? Aren't you Babe Haven? No, actually, they were another good band, actually. I thought they were really good. But you guys, and you could quote, you could confirm, I said this in the message. I'm like, man, I was just at your guys' set and you were really good. Let's do an interview.
Yeah, you did.
Aw, thank you.
I won't interview bands if I don't like their music. Like, I don't get people in press that do that shit because you can't possibly do a good interview if you don't have the passion for the music, especially in the punk or metal arena.
About us, I would like to hear that.
Say that again.
What did you like about us?
Oh, you think I can fucking remember now? No.
Well, you must.
He's going to describe a whole different band. We'll be like, no, wait, that was Saturday, not Sunday. What?
I don't know if it's something specific. I just remember it was very high energy, good musicianship. Like it was. There's punk and then there's punk, and you guys were the latter, the better. Like it was. You don't like it just because it's punk. You like it because it's good music.
Yeah.
And that's the best way I could describe it. And it was just fun,
Thank you. That's our goal.
Thank
Our goal is to
that's the kid.
Not be, we want to play by the rules and, to a certain extent, but we're not going to fight anybody's fight. We just want to have a good time and remind everybody else it's okay to have fun.
Right?
Shake your booty to the Hot Patooties.
Isn't that the reason we go? To have fun?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Forget all the other bullshit. To me, it's the escape. Yeah. It's the best therapy there is. I have this philosophy that what we need to do right now in this fucked up world that we live in is we need to have a music festival for the whole world that everybody's required to attend. And then we could actually unite the world because there's no better uniter than a music festival.
You could start your own. You could have the Pipeman Fest.
I've already been talking about that.
Oh,
I have run a festival down here in Florida, but I have a certain idea for a festival that would be unique to that nobody's doing. That would mix two of my worlds because, like, I'm also a motivational speaker. So there's that world. And if you could combine that world with the punk and metal world together, then like I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the type that go to do seminars. My way to pump myself up before a seminar is to crank something like Slayer or Discharge or something like that.
I always wanted to have a morning radio show that was like, you want to wake up to GBH? It'd be like 7 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Well, wait till you hear. Okay. Wait till you hear the intro to this interview.
Oh.
Yes. My intro and outro. First of all, my intro is 2 of my grandkids are doing the intro and another grandkid doing the outro.
Awesome.
But it's not what you would expect with a couple kids doing the intro and outro.
Cool.
Just going to go there.
I'll bet it's phenomenal.
It will be phenomenal.
That's really
You guys are fucking phenomenal.
Thank
I
you.
want you to tell everybody before your lasagna burns how they can get a hold of you on socials, on the web, how they can buy your merch, because they can't listen to my show unless they buy your merch, because you can't survive without merch. And they think you're making millions while, Spotify's screwing everybody.
Oh, we're on Spotify. We're Instagram, Hot Patooties Rock and Roll. Hot Patooties Rock and Roll. And then we're on Spotify. We're on all the streaming stuff. And
Instagram.
I do still do Facebook because I like Facebook, but
I like Facebook because I like the photo albums. Like I could just upload. I could just upload all the photos I took at the festival or of my kids or grandkids, and it's like having them all saved there.
The best place to see us though is come see us. If you're ever up in the high desert above Palm Springs, we live out in the desert. It's a lot of fun.
We're by Joshua Tree National Park is where we're. That's the nearest kind of
nice
thing.
They definitely have to see you live.
Yes,
I am attesting to that they have to see you live because you guys were live. We're badass live. That's why we're sitting here right now.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
And when I'm going to go back to one thing in the beginning about your socials. Okay, I will admit when I first searched for you on Instagram, I found another Hot Patootie, and I'm like, wait, that's not them.
So before
imposters.
Before we sign off, I have to say we were in line at one of my favorite pizza places, Evil Pie, and I met this guy who sings for a local band in Las Vegas with one of the dudes from Faster Pussycat. Anyway, he freaking looks like Meatloaf.
Really?
His wife was like, I always tell him he looks like Meatloaf. And I said, well, maybe next, if we ever come play here again, you could come up and do Hot Patooties with us. And he said he would.
Oh my God.
We're going to find it.
God.
That'd be amazing.
That needs to be a video that you put everywhere.
Oh yeah, it would be amazing. And but he's a little cuter than Meatloaf, but he's sweet. But we're going to have to go, but I want to say thank you so much for your interest, and I'm glad you survived. We survived.
And thanks for being there early to see us and reaching out. That's awesome. You're a really nice guy. Thank you.
Well, my pleasure. And I'm always like the first one at the festival and last to leave. I have serious FOMO, man. I have to catch every set I possibly can.
Awesome.
Thank you.
But you guys rock.
High five you. High fives.
There it is. Kim, you got to join in. Why is Kim sitting still? There we go.
Send us where we can watch this when it's up, and we'll check it out.
I will. And thank you for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Okay.
Thank you, Pipeman.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.